Oh man, what's good, YouTube? Uh, it's of course Leviathan prophecy, and you know what, man? I have a terrible headache. Um, oh man, so obviously, you know, uh, you know, I had a lot of people. Shoot, I had a lot of people, blow up my phone, saying that yay, the Cowboys lost. Because I think I have over like 200 Cowboys fans on my Facebook page, right? You know, and then they be blowing me up. Well, some of them was blowing me up. Some was congratulating me on the win. Others was saying that, oh yeah, you won, but the Washington team is gonna take care of business tonight. And I said, you know what, man, at this point, I don't even care. This Giants team is dead to me. And then, they said, oh, don't say that. The Giants are just in the rebuilding mode. No, you know, like people have faith sometimes in the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons, this team will never get better. This team will never be better. You saw how the Browns quickly turned it around. You saw how the Bills, the 49ers, even the Chargers are probably going to be better next year. But the Giants, first of all, Saquon Barkley is coming back just to do nothing, okay? I've covered this team since '04. I've been a fan of this team since '04, okay? I have witnessed them go to the Super Bowl and lay an egg against the against a great defense out of the, Ravens, you know what I'm saying? I think that was Ray Lewis' first championship. And then obviously he won another one towards 2013, I believe. But this team will never get better. People hope and they pray, and I mean, as fans, that's the only thing you can do. It's not like you can riot in front of their stadium. Saying and say we won't get them in out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not going to do it. Like the only thing we could do is just hope, pray that this team gets better. But I'm not here to bash the Giants. You know what I'm saying? It's just, odd to me how stupid and retarded their fan base is. Like, to say that y'all was the best team in that division, but y'all didn't win the division. Does that make any sense to y'all? How can y'all say that, oh, we're the best team in the division but didn't win the division? That's the point of every single year. That's the point of you battling twice every year. That's the point of you going out and facing your division foes twice a year. That's the point of you facing your non-division opponents, getting into the playoffs so you don't have to worry about the Redskins or the Eagles losing for you to win or to get in. Like, that's just selfish, Do your business. I mean, handle your business, win the games that you have to win, and that's it. Yeah, y'all swept the Redskins. Y'all swept the Washington team. Congratulations. But guess what? They had the last laugh. Like, it's easy to sweep your division opponents. I'm not saying it's easy, but the Giants have no problem beating the Cowboys. The Giants have no problem beating the Washington team. But the Eagles is always that one team that's a thorn in the Giants' side. You know, dating all the way back to Donovan McNabb. You know what I'm saying? When they had Deshaun Jackson and Shady McCoy and Macklin and Jeremy Macklin and those boys. You know, they used to give the Giants fit every single year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all beat them once, and then obviously they beat y'all, so everybody had a tiebreaker. You know what I'm saying? Everybody beat everybody once. You know, the Cowboys swept the Cowboys swept the Redskins. You know what I'm saying? Or Washington team. You know, the Eagles tied it up against the Cowboys tied it up against the Eagles. The Giants swept the Redskins. So it's just vice versa. So, you know, like, I don't understand the life of me why people think that the Giants was going to do anything in the playoffs. What, to just get blown out? To say, oh, at least we made it to the playoffs and I don't care if we get blown out, you know? Like, that's loser talk, you know? Like, I said this from the beginning, like, why would you pick, like, the Giants could have literally picked an offensive lineman in the second round. It's not like they all was going to go off the board in the second round. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the offensive lineman wasn't the strongest class, but you could have gotten the offensive lineman in the second round, but you chose to pick an offensive lineman in the first round, knowing that you could have possibly had the second pick. You went from the second pick all the way to the fourth pick, and you picked the offensive tackle out of Georgia. And Georgia don't even produce good players like that. Some, yes, not all. You know, not all good schools produce a lot of great players. You know, like Ray Rice didn't come from a big school. You know, like Ray Rice came from Rutgers, I think. You know, Hamar Bradshaw, Randy Moss, they both came from Marshall. So, yes, you're going to get players that come from small schools, just like how the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It's always Duke. It's always, you know, Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always those two teams, you know? And you know, there's a lot of great players that came from both of those programs. You know what I'm saying? Kentucky, obviously, with, you know, Kentucky with John Wall, AD, you know what I'm saying? Duke with, you know, obviously Kyrie Irving, you know what I'm saying? I think, who else came from Duke? DeMarcus Cousins. So there's a lot of great talent and great production that came out of both of those schools. But again, you know, you go to Alabama, you go to LSU, you go to Ohio State, you go to Notre Dame, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are big top schools, but sometimes they don't produce the top schools. And it's hard for scouts to go out there and you know, scout the best players, you know? Because who would have thought that Mike Evans would have still been on the Buccaneers? You know? Like, nobody thought that Odell Beckham Jr. was going to finish his career with the Giants. I've been telling a lot of people before he got drafted, way before I started YouTube, I told everybody that Odell is not going to retire as a Giant. Like, I've seen a lot of receivers like him come and go. Or not even come and go, but just come. You know, like, I've seen a lot of receivers like him. You know, cocky, arrogant, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know, it's like it's always about him. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he never puts the team first. He's not a leader, you know? Like, he's not Julio Jones. He's not Larry Fitzgerald, you know what I'm saying? He's a me guy, you know? He's Chad. He's OT. He's T.O., you know what I'm saying? He's a drama queen, you know? And look at the Browns. The Browns have made the playoffs without him. And I'll put my life on this. If Odell Beckham Jr. was still on the Browns, they wouldn't even make the playoffs. They would have probably finished the season 6-10, to be honest with you. Did not put that on everything I love. Because when you remove a bad seed from a team, that team blossoms into a very good flower. You know what I'm saying? As great as talented as Odell Beckham Jr. is, he's a cancer. You know? Any team who has him, it is what it is. But this is not about Odell Beckham Jr. But anyways, but yeah, man, just handle your business, man. Just win the games that you can win, and then you don't have to worry about the Washington team saving your behind. You know, like what's wrong with these Giants fans? You know, and then they're gonna blame Evan Ingram for what? For those 2 drop passes? Y'all won the game. Y'all won the game 23-19. So, like, I'm confused. You know, first is so Philadelphia Eagles, you know, purposely losing that game, quote unquote, on y'all, you know, behalf. And then next thing you know, oh, we gotta fire or we gotta release Evan Ingram. Oh, he cost us the game. You know, even though y'all won, y'all still going back on that drop passes. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, like, yes, the Giants did go on a winning streak, but it wasn't long. You know, kid you not, if the Giants would have stuck with Colt McCoy, I really do think that y'all would have had a shot at winning the division. But then again, y'all could have probably gone 10-6 and missed the playoffs because of what transpired last night. So yes, y'all could have went from 6-10. Y'all could have gone from 6-10 to 10-6 and still missed the playoffs, because that's exactly what happened in 2010. 2010, y'all was not that bad, but y'all finished with a pretty good record. But y'all got swept by the Cowboys, y'all got swept by the Eagles, and y'all swept. Scenario, right? Funny scenario, right? Y'all swept the Eagles. No, y'all swept the Redskins, and y'all finished with a division record of 2-4. Similar to this, y'all tied their division. Y'all tied against the Eagles. Y'all tied against their Cowboys, and y'all swept the Eagles. Now, obviously, the only difference is y'all had a better record that year prior to this year. That's the only difference, record-wise. Team-wise, obviously, y'all had a better. 2010 had a better roster. You know, you had Manningham, Cruz, Hakeem. You know, y'all still had a great defense. And then y'all finished the season against the Redskins just to hang up 24 points. So I believe this final score was 24-17 when Eli Manning threw a bomb to Mario Manningham and he took it to the house for the touchdown. But y'all needed the Green Bay Packers to lose against the Bears, and I think y'all needed another team to lose in order to make the playoffs. The first team did what they had to do, so all y'all had to do was just count on the Bears to beat the Packers. And obviously the Bears, for some reason, can never beat the Packers on their best day. You know, and then unfortunately y'all missed the playoffs, but y'all finished with a 10-6 record. Same scenario here. Actually different scenario, but same scenario. Y'all swept the Eagles. Y'all tied against the y'all tied against the Cowboys and the Eagles, and y'all beat the Cowboys, but y'all needed help from the Eagles to beat their, Washington team, which obviously it didn't happen. You know, that's why I say handle your business. You know, I'm sick and tired of people bashing, Evan Ingram like it's Evan Ingram's fault. Even with the 2 drop passes, y'all still won that game. That's the most craziest part about it. Now if he would have dropped those 2 passes and y'all would have lost, then okay. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could bicker and do all this argument for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still getting paid millions and millions of dollars while y'all still working at dead end ass jobs. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter to him. He's still getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still getting paid regardless if they go out there and catch for 0 yards, 4 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards. It doesn't matter. 10 yards. As long as they're getting paid, is all that matters. And the Giants are not going to cut Evan Ingram if he's having a bad game because that's their starting tight end. They're not going to put Simons in there. They're not going to put Smith in there because obviously they don't necessarily know the playbook all too well because they didn't have preseason. So that's why you saw a lot of sometimes Smith in there, sometimes Evan Ingram. You know what I'm saying? Despite the matchup, depending on the matchup they go up against. But you can't blame the Eagles. You just can't. This is why you can never put your faith in another team. You have to handle your business. Like, the Giants should have just shut Daniel Jones out for the rest of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Maybe Colt McCoy could have won you those last 6 games or 7 games or what have you. But once you pull him out and you put Daniel Jones in, that crushed his confidence. And so when you went back to him, you didn't get the same result like you did prior to the Seahawks game, And that Seahawks game was a gimme game, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess the Seahawks are just, eased off the gas a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously the Seahawks could have easily dropped 40 on y'all, in a hurry with that offense, But I guess they had a kind of heart and just let y'all, mollywop them for just 15 seconds of fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, the Washington team beat the undefeated Steelers. So which one was more impressive? The Washington team beating the undefeated Steelers, or the Giants beating a 10-6, or I think they were 10-5 Seahawks team? Like, but anyways, it's just, it baffles me, man. It really does. This is why I don't take sports seriously, and I never will take sports seriously. The only 2 topics I'll probably take seriously is music and politics, to be honest with you. Like, 'cause, again, sometimes sports conversation goes nowhere. It really does. Like, it's just 2 old people bickering back and forth, Like, it's a kid's game, Like, we're grown men. We're grown-ups talking about a kid's game. Like, come on, man. Like, I just had to realize that in my brain. I had, like, a dream yesterday about that. Like, they're getting paid. Everybody in that organization, in that team's getting paid millions of dollars just to play a kid's sport that we all grew up watching and loving, We didn't make it. Well, actually, I didn't make it. I can only speak for myself. I didn't make it because I tore up my knee. You know what I'm saying? And, the doctor said that, if I do continue to pursue my career, there is chances that, no teams are probably going to look at me, you know what I'm saying? Because of my injury, you know what I'm saying? Because once you have an injury, that's something that teams shy away from. That's things, like, there's some teams that may take a risk on you, but there's some teams that say, I don't know. He has a history injury, you know what I'm saying? So, there was a chance. So, I just went back to basketball and, everything, and, that's the last thing she wrote. But anyways, like, I played not professional, but I played collegiate level, But, I wasn't offered no scholarships though, but, I did put up, this is all before YouTube, like I said, I didn't have a phone until I was 20, so, Back then I was like 16, 17 years old. So, I mean, it's not like, I post, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I was pretty good. One day I'm gonna record me doing backflips. Not backflips, but backhand stands. One of these days. So, I could show y'all my athleticism and shit. But anyways, man, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. People bash people for the wrong reasons. Y'all should have won the games y'all should have won. Nobody, like, the Giants started 0-3. They lost their last 3 games, which obviously, the Giants always start slow for some odd reason. Like, every time the Giants start week 1 off, bet you they're going to lose. The only time they won was in 2009. That was the only time they won their home opener was around 2009 when they went 5-0 for the first time in franchise history. You know what I'm saying? And after that, they just collapsed and lost 8 straight while, the Saints were also 5-0. They wind up heading into the Super Bowl, beating the Colts and winning the championship. But, it was a fun experience, you know what I'm saying? But, again, the Giants passed up on Chase Young. When you have a generation talent like that, you do not pass up on them for a damn offensive tackle. Like, the Giants could have gotten an offensive tackle in the 4th, 3rd round. You know what I'm saying? Or they could have got Isaiah Simmons. And I'm not saying that Isaiah Simmons was going to make a big, explosive, production. But, it's better than nothing. Who y'all have? Like, I told y'all yesterday, ain't nobody, the NFL do not, I'll tell y'all this, man. The NFL does not, what's the word I'm trying to think of? The NFL does not give any handouts. Like, they're not going to reward a bad team because they're bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Giants were 6-10. You know what I'm saying? So, you think that the Giants was going to go in MetLife Stadium, which obviously they won, because every time the Giants do play at home, they always lose for some reason. It's like they're allergic to playing at home. You know what I'm saying? And I could get on my team because that's just the way I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, this team is just dead to me, Like, they passed up on Chase Young, and you saw how Chase Young was a beast. Like, he was just getting after the ball. Now, imagine the Giants having that. Plus, with, the defensive tackles that they have. Come on, man. B.J. Hill, Leonard Williams. I mean, and then you added Chase Young, and then plus you add another, like, the Giants did, the Washington team did the exact same thing that the Cowboys did, but the opposite way. Instead of just drafting offensive linemen, the Washington team drafted defensive ends year after year after year, Montez Sweat, Kerrigan, and now Chase Young. So now they have a pretty good pass rusher, So if Alex Smith stinks it up, they still have their pass rush. They still have that defense to rely on. And that's exactly what the Giants was a few years ago. The Giants wasn't putting up monster numbers when they won those 2 Super Bowls. That defense kept them in games because they had Michael Strahan. They had Uramura. I think that's how you call his name. Pronounce his name. I'm just going to call him OC. They had OC, they had Tuck, they had Michael Strahan. After Michael Strahan left, they drafted JPP. You know what I'm saying? So it was Justin Tuck, Justin Tuck, OC, and then JPP. And then they had a bunch of different, usage linebackers like, Thais Kiminuka, They had Mitch Robinson, Kavia Mitchell. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And this was back in '07. Actually, yeah, this was back in '07. So I prefer that. This was back in '10. But still, man, like, you just don't pass up on a generation talent like that, man. You just don't, you know. And to keep Dave Gettleman again, I tell you, Bill, the Giants are never going anywhere with him under regime, man. I tell you, the way he did that Carolina Panthers organization, trading John Beeson, trading Josh Norman at the time, what I'm saying, trading Steve Smith, like, that was very strange for a GM to release their best players like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then freaking Luke had to retire because he already knew that he was up next. Like, nobody's safe, because when you have a bad GM like Dave Gettleman, because I get it, Dave Gettleman's been there before, but still, man, you need a fresh young brain. I don't understand with the Giants. Like, the Giants is always picking these old heads to run their franchise. Like Joe Judge, he was an okay pickup, but he's a special teams head coach. Like, I don't know how. I mean, and then plus you got Jason Garrett. It was just a whole disaster, to be honest with you. Like, I just don't know. They might as well shoot. Knowing Dave Gettleman, his ass might probably trade Saquon Barkley too. To be honest with you, nobody's safe in Dave Gettleman's eyes. To be honest with you, nobody's really safe. I know John Beeson was up there in age. Josh Norman was an up-and-coming, cornerback. And Steve Smith been there since he got drafted, So to move all those guys, that made no sense, Even though they still made the playoffs because of Cam Newton in that offense. And then obviously they made it to the Super Bowl, but obviously, they lost in the Super Bowl because the NFL was not going to give Cam Newton the Super Bowl, They're racist just as well, Like, people think that, the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs and they're going to go represent the NFC East. No, they're not. That's why I picked the Reds. That's why I picked the Washington team to upset them, and they will upset them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get a Cinderella story once in a while, once in a blue moon. A lot of people might think, the Redskins is gonna fold. They're not good. This and that and the third. The only team in that division that can obviously, stand up to the Patriots or to the Buccaneers is the Giants, because we beat them in '07 and this and that. But obviously, different players, different year. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I said, the Washington team would be a better matchup because of their defense. And we all know when Tom Brady faces an elite defense or just a defense with great pass rushers, he tap dance like the great Gregory Hine. You know what I'm saying? Just like how Stephen A. Smith used to say. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is just get pressure. All you have to have is the right. All you have to have is the right All you have to have is the right defense, and he's gonna collapse. He's gonna break out the pressure. Like, imagine Kerrigan and Sweat and Chase Young after him all game, every day. The Buccaneers offensive lineman is not going to uphold those guys for long. unless they chip block or, use like an extra tight end. They're not going to have time to protect Tom Brady like that, But, it is what it is. But, yeah, man, it just baffles me, man. It really does, Like, own up to your own mistakes, Like, don't put it on another team. Don't have it to where you have to rely on another team to get you in the playoffs. Why? So you could get blown out and say, well, at least we were in the playoffs. At least these guys gave playoff experience. Like, for one, the Giants never had a running game. Even though Gallman carried them, Josh Freeman, he was out most of the year. He never was able to be consistent. Once we picked him up, I thought it was a big pickup by us when we picked him up, but he's never been healthy, you know what I'm saying? And that was the one thing about him, like he's a great production, but he gets injured a lot, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, we just never saw him again. I guess they just shut him down. And then we picked up Morris, Alfred Morris. Like Gallman, he did his thing, but, it wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with Saquon Barkley before he went down, he had a bad game against the Steelers, And then he had a bad game against the Vikings, I believe, they faced. So, I mean, I don't know. But you can't, Giants fans cannot put their blames on anybody. The only blame you should put is on yourselves, because y'all put yourselves in this position. Like if you would have beaten the games, if you would have beaten the teams that you should have beaten, you would have been in this predicament. It would have been the Cowboys and the Giants for the NFC East Championship. Simple. Like, I don't want to hear it, Evan Ingram did not cost you that game. Y'all won. Y'all supposed to win. Y'all was favored by like 6 points in the spread. Like 6 points? Y'all covered the spread, but y'all still won. But y'all want to go back and blame Evan Ingram for those 2 crucial touchdowns, even though y'all won the game. You see how retarded y'all sound? But anyways, like I said, man, I'm gonna give this team 2 years. Obviously, this year doesn't count. So when the NFL kicks off again, probably around, I don't know. You still have to do the draft. After the draft is probably the Pro Bowl, and obviously so around March I'll probably see where they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do any recaps because I can care less. Because Dave Gettleman is gonna find a way to fuck up this organization even more. You know what I'm saying? Because when you put a person like him in charge of your team, good things does not go well, Good things does not go well, Maybe it's because, the way he did, the Carolina Panthers, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, but, talent-wise, yes, he could bring very good talent in here, We didn't have the best free agency class, but, it shows you that he still has an eye out for talent, but he just can't run a team for shit, He's just like James Dolan, but worse, Like, he has the eye out for talent. Well, I'm not really comparing Dave Gettleman to James Dolan, but as far as running an organization, whether you're the owner or you're the GM, he does not know what he's doing. Like, you think Like, think about it. You really think that the Giants wanted to pick offensive linemen, knowing that how popular and productive Chase Young was? You think that the Giants would have picked an offensive lineman over a pass rusher? Like, that's been their bread and butter since Lawrence Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Since the Crunch Bunch. You know? Like, they've been in the 4-3 since 1925. You know? Until, obviously, Pat Shermer got the job and, he just turned his whole team around backwards. You know what I'm saying? Implementing the 3-4 scheme, which we didn't have the linebackers to do so. Because when you in that scheme, you need linebackers. You need hybrid linebackers. You know what I'm saying? The 3-4 works with a Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they have athletic linebackers. Or Miami Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? We don't have linebackers like that. So when we blitzed a lot, we gave up big yards. We gave up huge chunks of yards, whether it's through the air or through the ground. Because we blitz. And once you blitz, you give 70% of your portion is exposed, you know what I'm saying? Or 70% of the field is exposed. So you would have to leave your man to go hit the quarterback as hard as you can. And then that receiver might be wide the hell open. And then boom, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just playing a 4-3, letting your front four do the work, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, everything is going to take care of itself, but it wasn't like that. I think the Giants should probably go back to a 4-3, I mean, like I said, the Giants are not going to get any better, Like, I know this team in and out like a buck, okay? The Giants never want to open up the season on a high note, Like, the Giants the Giants always lose in home opener. And you always want to start, every team wants to start off the season on the right note, but the Giants do this consistently every single year. Outside of the 2009 season, they have not had a great home opener. It's like they're allergic to losing the first game, But, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, like I said, I'm giving this team 2 years. If I don't see no turnaround, I'm done. I'm done talking about them. I'm just going to focus on my Knicks because at least my Knicks are moving into the right direction. We just need a couple of pieces around, R.J. Barrett and Opie Topping, and then we could be a contender. I'm not saying that the Knicks are going to win the championship, but we could be a contender every year in that division. You know what I'm saying? We can compete against the highest levels of competition. But for right now, we're just taking it one step at a time. You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, I'm giving this team 2 years. As soon as the NFL season restarts all over again, they're in year one. You know what I'm saying? So this year was obviously a wash. You know what I'm saying? With Saquon Barkley coming back healthy, hopefully, if he can, obviously play the full 17 games, that's a plus. I mean, we picking 10th? We picking 10th in the draft? It doesn't really matter. I mean, we all know the good players come in the first round. In the first 5 picks, that's where all the money is at. Like nobody cares about who, you pick later on. Now, obviously, sometimes you can hit diamond in the rough, you know what I'm saying? But this team needs to go back to the way it was. 4-3 scheme, like that's the way I see it, because the Giants are not going to go into the next season with the same roster, you know what I'm saying? And, the picks too, like the Giants, I think the Giants have 7 picks. So, they're going to have to, out of 7 picks, they're going to have to whiff on a lot of them, you know. They're going to have to take every position. They're going to have to take every player they're just going to have to take position by position. Whatever they lacked in this year, they're going to have to make up for it in the draft, Like we desperately need a tight end. Not a tight end. Because nobody's like, who the hell's gonna waste their draft pick on a tight end? Like, really, you could get them cheap in free agency. So the Giants are not going to utilize their picks on a tight end. That's just stupid. But they need a pass rush. They need a cornerback. Which again, I don't think the Giants are gonna waste their pick on a cornerback. We did that with Prince Amukamara. That didn't turn out great. Even though Nebraska was known for their defense, he got hurt. He got hurt his rookie year. So, he was a great talent, but he just got hurt a lot, But we just need a pass rush. We need our Chase. We need like another version of Chase Young, But, who knows? Maybe Dave Gettleman's job is on the line for sure next year. If the Giants go out and they produce the same product that they have last year, Dave Gettleman is gone. And I know Dave Gettleman is gone because he doesn't know how to run a team. Why do you think that the Panthers let him go? He literally got rid of their best players. Even like I said, even though they got to the playoffs, that was because of Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey. It wasn't because of their defense. It was because of their offense. And when they went 15-1, it's because of their offense. Their defense was keep giving up big plays through the ground, through the air. When Cam Newton had to save them time in and time out, time in and time out. So it wasn't because of their defense. It was because of their offense. So, like I said, man, Dave Gettleman does not know how to run a team. It's sad, but the Giants are not going anywhere in this next year. I could just see it, I'm not saying this just to say this. I've seen the Giants miss the playoffs a lot, They went 7-9, 6-10. 7-9, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. They only had 3 good solid years. 11, 07, and 2016 when they went 10-6. But obviously they got their butt kicked by Green Bay because Odell Beckham Jr. couldn't catch a lick of balls. Everybody in that team couldn't catch. Our 4th string king caught the ball for the not game-winning touchdown, but for the touchdown, Cruz was dropping balls, Sterling Shepard was dropping balls, Beckham was dropping balls, and it wasn't Eli's fault. Eli Manning was hot as always, it was just, like I said, when you get too cocky and too arrogant, it backfires. So, it is what it is. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. So next time, take care of yourself and each other, man. It's just sad how the Giants are gonna waste another year again with the same product, Because if you really break down this roster, why did the Giants go 6-10? To be honest with you, no pass rush to speak of. They were still playing in a 3-4 scheme, okay? They had no receivers, and they had a running back that only lasted 3 games. And so he got injured against the Buccaneers, I believe. No, it was against the Jaguars. He got injured. And then they signed Freeman. They still had Wayne Gallman. And, it went downhill from there. Yeah, they had their 15 seconds of fame when they won, back-to-back games. But, again, when Once you kill confidence, man, it's over. You know, because confidence can bring you a long way. You know, and once you kill that confidence that you had in Colt McCoy. Now, I'm not saying that Colt McCoy was gonna go out there and score every time he touches the ball, but you saw that game against the Seahawks where, you know, he willed that Giants team to win that game. You know what I'm saying? When Daniel Jones went back, when Daniel Jones came back around against the Cardinals, you know he wasn't 100%, but they put him in there anyways. Whose decision was that? Dave Gettleman. Gave Gettleman. I mean, obviously the owner is gonna have all the rights. You know, like I'm not even gonna count the owner because the owner is in its class by himself. You know, the GM is gonna always have more power over the head coach. That's just how it's always gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like the head coach might have a little bit of say, but the GM is the GM. You know what I'm saying? The GM is the one who, you know, is the top. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the top, but it's the middle of the pack, I should say. So whatever Dave Gettleman said that, you know what, he probably said yank Daniel Jones out. You know what I'm saying? He put Daniel Jones knowing damn well he was 100%. You still put him out there just to get sacked a career high 6 times against the Cardinals. Like, does that make any sense to you? And then Giants fans are, quote unquote, happy that Dave Gettleman's returning. Look for another 6-12 season. That's all I'm gonna say. Look forward to another 6-10 season because the way the Giants right now is positioned, they're not going to win this division next year. Okay, it's either going to be between the Cowboys or the Washington team. Okay, because it's hard to build a team. It's hard to build a structure around a quarterback. You know, like you would have to have the right running backs, the right receivers, the right tight ends, the right defense, the right offensive linemen. And it starts up front with those guys. If you can't get that one right, I don't care who you have at right receiver. I don't care who you have as running back. You saw how Steelers, you know, game plan for Saquon Barkley, right? Stack the box. That's all you got to do. That's how you stop any great wide receiver. I mean, any great running back. You stuff the box. Once you stuff the box, that's going to create the quarterback to throw. And all you have to do is just be in a great scheme to pick it off 5 times, 6 times. You know what I'm saying? So that's a recipe in Madden, and that's a recipe for success in real life. You know? If you can't run up front, you can't win no games. You know? This offensive lineman, the Giants' offensive lineman is not even that great. You know? They have no pass rush. That's why they was getting blown out and not blown out, but that's why they was going on a winning streak because they couldn't stop nobody. Yeah, they'll show some resiliency here and there, but you can't cover for that long. And sometimes your coverage might break, and that would result into a lot of touchdowns. And that's why the Giants were in the position that they are right now. Now, next year, the way the draft is set, the Giants might probably pick 9th or 10th, okay? Now, I don't know who the Giants are going to pick, and I don't necessarily care, but because the way the rookie scale is now these days, you know, like nobody's going to bank on a rookie to come in and save the day. You know, this is not 07, this is not 09, this is not 2004, you know what I'm saying? So rookies now are different between compared to rookies back then. You know what I'm saying? Like Xavier McKinney was out until August, all the way till now December he was making his debut. Even though he got the pick, congratulations to him, but you know, it is what it is, you know? Like maybe, you know, the Giants don't do a good job of scouting, you know, because that's where it all begins. If you scout good, it's going to show. It's really going to show, you know. But if you scout bad, if you not even scout bad, but if you just scout the wrong players that you think that's going to make your team better, and obviously they wind up not making your team better, guess who's going to be looking like a fool? You are. You know what I'm saying? So I think scouting does play a factor into it. You could be drafted high, you could be drafted low. It doesn't really matter. You could be undrafted. We've seen a lot of undrafted players make a huge impact in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But, as long as the Giants got Dave Gettleman, they're never going to win anything. And it's sad. Because you need a fresh young mind at the GM position. You need like what's that head coach? What's the head coach? What's the name of the head coach for the? What's the GM's name for the Chiefs? I forgot the GM's name for the Chiefs, but he knows talent. Getting those guys, getting Jones and Matthew, you know what I'm saying? And, getting other pieces on that team. He knows talent. So why can't Dave Gettleman duplicate that, Yes, does Dave Gettleman know talent? Sure. But he just don't know how to run a team. And that's going to be the Giants' downfall for the next 5 years, Because like I said, if he doesn't get it done next year, he's done. The Giants might probably hold on to Joe Judge because obviously, this year is not his fault. You know what I'm saying? He was dealt a bad hand. He had to make the most out of it. No preseason. You know what I'm saying? No evaluating how good or great players are. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why you have preseason. You know what I'm saying? Of course, preseason is not going to count because in y'all minds, y'all think that preseason is just an expedition game, like it doesn't count. But for the coaches, that's how you evaluate talent. That's how you see who's good, who's not good. Like picture if the NFL didn't have no preseason. Like you just throw a whole bunch of guys out there, getting, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you have preseason, to evaluate, you know what I'm saying? Preseason is more of an evaluation game than, just throwing pads and, play for, 60 minutes, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. This playoffs is going to get a lot interesting. Not that I care, because, like I said, I already picked the LA Rams to win it. Goff will be fine. I don't think Goff injuries is going to be too serious. Now that he has like 5 days to heal. You know what I'm saying? So that bone or whatever cartilage in his body is going to heal, and he's going to be better. Or he's going to be up on his feet again. But I'm not really concerned. But yeah, man, I can't wait. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.